Hello, welcome once again to Lehto's Law. I'm Steve Lehto. Got a news story here. It's frightening. It's something that's been going on for a little while. We've always known a little bit about this, but it's, I think, much worse than most of us thought. DMVs across the country are selling your driver's license data for as little as a penny, but making millions of dollars, all the while exposing your personal information to anybody who wants to buy it. So, yeah, our government, hard at work against us. Story by Andrew Whalen out of Newsweek, but it was originally reported in Motherboard. Departments of motor vehicles across the country are selling driver's license data to private investigators and other third parties. A Motherboard investigation uncovered hundreds of documents obtained through public records requests that indicate a widespread pattern of DMVs in multiple states generating tens of millions of dollars a year selling your data. The information that you give them when you fill out your driver's license application. They give you the driver's license application, and then they sell the information to anybody who wants it. The data sold included names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, email addresses, vehicle, and other personal identification information. So, how could that possibly come back to haunt you? That someone's got your full name, your date of birth, and your address. Now, this is technically legal under the Driver's Privacy Protection Act, but many drivers are unaware that the state-level government agencies regularly sell their information to private parties. Yeah, and other companies do too. This is one of the dumbest things out there, but there are utilities out there that when you move in and you sign up and buy a service, they sign you up and start providing the service and they sell your information. I mean, how do you think it is these companies all know where you live? I'm not talking about the one you signed up with. I'm talking about that you sign up with them and all of a sudden you start getting junk mail from other companies. How did they know you were there? Oh, the utility sold all your information and made some money off of it. Okay. So, in addition to insurance and towing companies, Motherboard also uncovered evidence of DMVs selling data to private investigators to aid in the surveillance of spouses. And of course, once you say it's available to a private investigator, it can be used for any purpose. Documents show both licensed data sold individually and in bulk, often as part of ongoing contracts that sell individual driver data for as little as a penny per datum. Yes, there's a singular for data. In Virginia alone, 109 different private investigator companies have purchased DMV data alongside hundreds of employers, law firms, credit reporting companies, and banks like Wells Fargo and JP Morgan Chase. Documents obtained by Motherboard reveal similar practices in New Jersey, Delaware, and Wisconsin, while local media outlets uncovered DMV data sales in Florida, Texas, and South Carolina. It's happening everywhere. Just assume it is. Congress should take a close look at the Driver's Privacy Protection Act and, if necessary, close loopholes that are being abused to spy on Americans. This is according to Senator Ron Wyden, who has also called for the end of NSA data collection on Americans. And he was interviewed by Motherboard magazine and was weighing in there. I can tell you that there was a time when, I suspect it's still true, where attorneys could, or anybody could subscribe to LexisNexis. And one of the things that LexisNexis provides is, a tap into legal and some government databases. And you could go in there and punch in a driver's license or a license plate number and check a box saying, I promise not to use this for the wrong purposes. And once you check that box, it'll give you anything you want. So if, for instance, someone was driving down the road and saw the license plate of somebody that they wanted to find out where that person lived, they can go back to their office, punch it into the LexisNexis database, and click the box that says, I won't use this for the wrong purpose. And then you have all the information you need. And when the entire system is predicated upon the safety feature that the person's got to check a box and promise not to misuse it, yeah, that's Fort Knox for you. Selling data has become a huge revenue maker in some states. South Carolina made $42 million selling driver information in 2015. Other states saw similar profits, with Wisconsin making $17 million and Florida raking in $77 million in 1 year. Let me ask you a question. If it's valuable and it's yours, why don't you get paid for it? Just asking. DMVs in North Carolina, Virginia, New Jersey, and Florida admitted to Motherboard that private data sales have been misused, both citing instances where companies were cut off from buying additional data after unspecified abuses. A deputy communications director from the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles cited failing to provide adequate internal controls. Advocacy groups like the National Network to End Domestic Violence have objected to the widespread practice, describing how the practice means DMVs are potentially endangering lives. They are. The selling of personally identifying information to third parties is broadly a privacy issue for all, and specifically a safety issue for survivors of abuse, including domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, and trafficking. That's according to Erica Olson. She's of the NNEDV. That's the National Network to End Domestic Violence, I'm guessing. And she told that to Motherboard. For survivors, their safety may depend on their ability to keep this type of information private. In response, multiple DMVs told Motherboard they do not sell driver's license photographs or social security numbers. See, they're being safe about it. We're not giving up the SS numbers. Hey, there's a million things we could do wrong. We're doing all of them wrong, but one. Doesn't that make us good? So this is troubling. And this is the kind of thing that I think that if it simply gets exposed enough and enough people complain, someone's going to step up and go, this is just absurd. Let's end this, right? And now it's true. Michigan was not listed there, and I'm an attorney in Michigan, notwithstanding a shirt that advertises an attorney from New Jersey. Is it New Jersey? I think it's New Jersey. I think Vinny is from New Jersey, but hey, who knows? The point is that states make money doing this, yet I doubt that anyone who's had their information sold would say, oh, that's good. If a state can make a couple bucks selling my information to strangers, more power to them. This is the kind of thing that if I had to guess, for people who understood the issue, a vast majority of them would say, this is wrong. It should end. There ought to be a law in every state that says if you are required to give your information to the state for any particular reason, I'm talking about your personal information, your name, your address, your social security number, a photograph of your face, any information, that they should be required to safeguard it. That is, they should hang on to it and protect it and not give it away, not sell it. And if anything, if they sell it, they should pass the money along to me. I'm the one who owns that information. It's mine. Okay? Just because they collected it doesn't mean it's theirs. This is absurd. And likewise, they should extend that law to the other companies that get your information. Because, if I sign up and I get a magazine subscription, actually, I've got one right now. We'll talk about that later. But let's suppose you get a magazine subscription. Okay, they've been doing that for years. We all know that a magazine subscription will often result in getting junk mail because the magazines pass your information around. They shouldn't do that. But I mean, how much information have they got on you? They've got a name and an address, and whether the name is correct, who knows? But when you go to sign up for a utility, you want the power turned on at your house. They actually get the information from you, and they also get other information from you to prove who you are and to make sure that you are a good credit risk to give power to, even though they can shut the power off if you stop paying your bills. For them to take all that information and sell that ought to be illegal, okay? But again, they do it. Whatever, they do it. So I think at this point in time, if enough people find out about this and we agitate enough, perhaps we can get the DMVs to stop selling our information, and we can get some laws passed to make it illegal to take vital and important personal information about somebody and sell it to a third party without the consent of the person whose information it is. Very, very simple little law that they could pass. Now, I can tell you that about 10 or 15 years ago, there were hearings in Congress. I remember seeing the hearings where they dragged in people from the industries that trade in personal information. And they asked them, where do you get your information from and who do you give it to? And many of them took the fifth because they knew what they were doing was wrong. And they knew what they were doing was borderline illegal. Many of them were doing it, obviously, because you don't take the fifth to protect yourself when you haven't done anything wrong. Okay? So everyone knew what they're doing is wrong. That was years ago, and nothing happened. Or if they passed a law, maybe that's the law they're talking about here, that's got the gigantic loopholes in it. They won't give the information to anybody but private investigators, and there's a bunch of people who are on this laundry list loophole that can use this information. And like I said, I've seen the screen on a LexisNexis thing that says, oh, you have a license number you want to run? punch it in here and click the box that says that you promise you won't misuse this information. Click the box, boom, there's the answer. Everything you want to know. Again, like I said, not the most secure system on earth, but this is the day and age we live. So unfortunately, the cat's out of the bag, that kind of thing, or the barn door's open and the horse is gone. This is actually one that we could take steps to fix. And like I said, pass a simple law that says a state can't sell the information without your permission. Make it so you have to opt in if you want the information sold. And then also make it illegal for companies that acquire your information in the course of business, forbid them from selling it likewise without your permission. But that second one will never happen because the big companies have got lobbies and they have lobbyists and they will lobby their, the politicians that they own in Washington. They'll tighten up the leash a little bit and say, hey, look, you don't mess with that. We need this information. We got to sell it. We got to make some money. We got to do what we do. So that'll never happen. But the DMV is an easy one because some politicians in some states could stand up and go, hey, I'm going to protect the little guy for once. I'm going to actually do something good here. Now, it's true that the people who run the DMV are going to scream and yell because, hey, we need that money. Well, something, you don't need it that badly that you have to steal it. So there you go. DMVs across the country selling your driver's license data for as little as a penny, but making millions in the process. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.